For many television fans, Frasier remains one of the smartest and most beloved sitcoms ever created. What began as a spin-off from the legendary comedy Cheers quickly grew into something even bigger. With its sharp writing, sophisticated humor, and unforgettable characters, Frasier became a cultural phenomenon throughout the 1990s and early 2000s. On screen, the world of Dr. Frasier Crane seemed elegant, witty, and comforting. But behind the laughter, the real lives of the actors were often far more dramatic than the stories we saw on television. Some faced personal struggles, others reinvented their careers in surprising ways, and a few experienced heartbreaking losses that fans never imagined. Before we explore what happened to the cast, take a moment to think back to when you first watched Frasier. Which character always stood out to you the most? Was it Frasier with his dramatic personality, Niles with his elegant awkwardness, Martin with his down-to-earth wisdom, Daphne with her quirky charm, or Roz with her fearless honesty? Because, as we'll soon discover, the real stories behind these actors can sometimes be even more surprising than the show itself. Frasier first premiered in 1993 and went on to run for an incredible 11 seasons before ending in 2004. Over those years, the series became one of the most critically acclaimed sitcoms in television history, winning a remarkable number of Emmy Awards and earning a reputation for its intelligent style of comedy. The story followed Dr. Frasier Crane, a psychiatrist who returned to his hometown of Seattle after the events of Cheers. Determined to start fresh, he launched a radio call-in therapy show where listeners could seek advice. But the real heart of the series wasn't the radio station. It was the complicated family life waiting for him at home. Frasier lived with his father Martin, a retired police officer whose simple lifestyle constantly clashed with Frasier's refined tastes. His younger brother Niles shared the same love of culture and intellect, but somehow managed to be even more nervous and awkward. Completing the household was Daphne, Martin's eccentric physical therapist, while Roz worked alongside Frasier at the radio station, keeping the show running smoothly. What truly made Frasier timeless was the chemistry between these characters. Their arguments were hilarious, their misunderstandings unforgettable, and their moments of warmth reminded audiences why the Crane family still feels so familiar even decades later. One of the most unforgettable characters in Frasier was Niles Crane, the elegant, anxious younger brother whose refined personality often made him the perfect target for chaos. The man behind that role, David Hyde Pierce, brought a level of comedic precision that helped define the entire series. Pierce had an extraordinary talent for physical comedy. Many of Niles's funniest moments didn't rely on dialogue at all. A nervous glance, a carefully timed reaction, or a perfectly awkward movement could turn an ordinary scene into something hilarious. His ability to combine subtle gestures with impeccable timing made Niles one of the most beloved sitcom characters of the 1990s. Much of that skill came from Pierce's background in theater. Before becoming a television star, he had already spent years performing on stage, where timing and physical expression are essential tools for an actor. That theatrical training gave his performance a polished and controlled style that fit perfectly with the sophisticated humor of Frasier. Audiences and critics quickly recognized his talent. Over the course of the series, Pierce won multiple Emmy Awards for his portrayal of Niles Crane, confirming his place as one of the standout performers of the show. When Frasier ended in 2004, Pierce made a choice that surprised many fans. Instead of pursuing a long list of Hollywood film roles, he returned to the stage, where his career had first begun. Broadway became his primary creative home, and he continued to appear in acclaimed theater productions, earning respect as one of the most accomplished stage actors of his generation. Off-screen, Pierce has always kept his personal life remarkably private. For decades, he shared a long-term relationship with writer and producer Brian Hargrove, and the couple eventually married after same-sex marriage became legal in the United States. In an industry often filled with controversy and scandal, David Hyde Pierce represents something rare in Hollywood, a long and successful career built quietly on talent, professionalism, and consistency. While Niles Crane brought elegance and nervous energy to the Crane family, the radio station where Frasier worked had its own strong personality keeping things under control. Roz Doyle, the confident and sarcastic producer of Frasier's radio show, became one of the most important characters in the series. And the actress who portrayed her, Peri Gilpin, gave the role a sharp wit that audiences instantly loved. Roz was fearless, independent, and never intimidated by Frasier's intellectual ego. Whenever Frasier became overly dramatic or self-important, Roz was ready with a sarcastic remark that brought him back to reality. Her chemistry with Frasier created some of the show's most entertaining exchanges. Before joining the cast of Frasier, Peri Gilpin spent years working in smaller television roles. Like many actors trying to break into the industry, she built her experience through guest appearances and supporting characters on various shows. Everything changed when she was cast as Roz Doyle in 1993. The role quickly made her one of the most recognizable faces of the series, appearing in nearly every episode during the show's long run. After Frasier concluded, Gilpin continued working steadily in television. She appeared in numerous guest roles and also expanded into voice acting, lending her voice to several animated series and projects over the years. Unlike many stars whose lives become filled with public drama, Gilpin has maintained a relatively grounded and private life. She focused on her family and continued acting without the kind of controversies that often surround Hollywood celebrities. For fans of the show, Roz Doyle remains unforgettable. The confident voice behind the radio booth who could match Frasier's intellect while never losing her sharp sense of humor. Another character who quickly became the heart of the Crane household was Daphne Moon. With her Manchester accent, quirky personality, and constant claims of psychic visions, Daphne brought a completely different energy into the refined world of Frasier and Niles. The actress behind the character, Jane Leeves, managed to turn Daphne into one of the most charming and beloved figures in the series. Jane Leeves's journey to the role began far from Hollywood. Born and raised in England, she originally trained as a dancer before eventually transitioning into acting. Like many performers searching for bigger opportunities, she made the bold decision to move to the United States and pursue a career in television. Her early years in Hollywood were filled with smaller roles as she slowly built her experience and reputation. But everything changed in 1993 when she was cast as Daphne Moon in Frasier. Daphne immediately stood out among the other characters. While the Crane brothers obsessed over culture, psychology, and fine dining, Daphne brought warmth, humor, and a wonderfully eccentric perspective into their world. Her unpredictable stories about her family back in England and her strange, psychic predictions often created some of the show's funniest moments. One of the most memorable storylines in the entire series was the slow-burn romance between Daphne and Niles Crane. For years, viewers watched Niles secretly admire her from afar, creating one of the longest and most entertaining romantic arcs in sitcom history. When their relationship finally became real, it was one of the most satisfying moments of the series. During the later seasons of the show, Leeves's real-life pregnancy created an unexpected challenge for the writers. Instead of writing her out completely, the show cleverly incorporated the situation into the storyline by sending Daphne to a health retreat, allowing the character to return later without disrupting the story. After Frasier ended, Jane Leeves continued her success in television. Years later, she found a new audience with the sitcom Hot in Cleveland, where she once again showcased her natural comedic talent. For many fans, Daphne Moon remains one of the most charming characters from Frasier, and Jane Leeves's performance helped give the show much of its warmth and personality. Before we continue, we'd love to hear from you. Which Frasier character always made you laugh the most? Frasier, Niles, Martin, Daphne, or Roz? And what moment from the show still makes you laugh today? Tell us in the comments below. Some characters don't need constant screen time to leave a lasting impression. In the world of Frasier, that character was Lilith Sternin, Frasier's brilliant and intimidating ex-wife. Played by Bebe Neuwirth, Lilith became one of the most memorable figures connected to the Crane family. The character actually began long before Frasier existed. Lilith first appeared on Cheers, where her icy intelligence and emotionally reserved personality created a fascinating contrast to the lively atmosphere of the bar. Her relationship with Frasier was awkward, intense, and often hilarious, quickly turning Lilith into one of the most distinctive characters in the series. When Frasier began, Lilith occasionally returned to the story, and every appearance reminded viewers why she remained so unforgettable. Her sharp, analytical humor and perfectly controlled delivery made her the perfect counterbalance to Frasier's dramatic personality. Outside of television, Bebe Neuwirth built an extraordinary reputation in theater. Long before and during her time on television, she was a major presence on Broadway. Her powerful stage performances earned her multiple Tony Awards, placing her among the most respected performers in American theater. Unlike many actors who focus on only one medium, Neuwirth successfully balanced both worlds. She continued moving between Broadway productions and television roles throughout her career, proving that her talent extended far beyond a single iconic character. While Lilith appeared only occasionally on Frasier, every visit left a lasting impact, reminding fans why the character remained such a fascinating part of Frasier's complicated life. While Lilith added sharp tension to Frasier's world, another character provided the emotional foundation of the entire series. Martin Crane, Frasier's father, was the steady, grounded presence that held the Crane family together. The role was brought to life by John Mahoney, whose journey to acting was very different from most Hollywood careers. Mahoney was born in England, but later moved to the United States, where he served in the U.S. Army, before eventually discovering his passion for acting. Unlike many performers who start young, Mahoney didn't seriously pursue acting until his late 30s. That late beginning, however, did not stop him from building an extraordinary career. He became a member of Chicago's renowned Steppenwolf Theater Company, where he developed a powerful reputation as a stage actor. His performances were known for their honesty, emotional depth, and quiet strength. That same authenticity made him perfect for the role of Martin Crane. In a show filled with intellectual debates and sophisticated humor, Martin represented something simple and real. He loved sports, enjoyed relaxing in his old recliner, and often struggled to understand his son's obsession with culture and fine dining. Those differences created many of the show's funniest moments. But Martin was more than comic relief. He was the heart of the Crane family. His wisdom, warmth, and occasional stubbornness gave the series an emotional balance that audiences deeply connected with. Behind the scenes, Mahoney brought that same warmth to the set. Many of the cast members described him as a father figure during the years they worked together. His kindness and professionalism helped create the supportive atmosphere that made the cast chemistry feel so natural. After Frasier ended, Mahoney returned to the theater, continuing to perform in stage productions for many years. Sadly, in 2018, he passed away at the age of 77. For fans of Frasier, his loss felt deeply personal. Yet Martin Crane remains one of the most beloved sitcom characters ever created, and John Mahoney's heartfelt performance continues to live on every time viewers return to that familiar Seattle apartment. At the center of the entire story was Dr. Frasier Crane himself, one of the most recognizable characters in television history. Intelligent, dramatic, endlessly talkative, and often hilariously self-important, Frasier became the heart of the series. The man behind the character, Kelsey Grammer, portrayed him for nearly 2 decades, making Frasier Crane one of the longest-running characters ever played by a single actor on television. The journey actually began years before Frasier existed. In 1984, Kelsey Grammer first appeared as Frasier Crane on the iconic sitcom Cheers. The character was originally introduced as a temporary love interest for Diane Chambers, but Grammer's performance quickly made him stand out. Audiences were fascinated by Frasier's mixture of intelligence, insecurity, and emotional drama. What started as a supporting role gradually became one of the most memorable characters in the series. When Cheers ended in 1993, producers took a bold risk by giving the character his own show. Spin-offs rarely succeed, and very few ever surpass the popularity of the original series. But Frasier did exactly that. The show quickly developed its own identity, combining sophisticated humor with relatable family dynamics. Over 11 seasons, it became one of the most critically acclaimed sitcoms ever made, winning a record number of Emmy Awards and building a loyal global audience. Yet behind Grammer's success was a life shaped by extraordinary tragedy. Kelsey Grammer experienced devastating loss from an early age. When he was a young boy, his father was murdered in a violent crime. Years later, his younger sister Karen was kidnapped and killed in a horrifying case that shocked the country. The pain of that loss stayed with him for the rest of his life. As if those tragedies were not enough, two of his half-brothers later died in a tragic scuba diving accident. By the time Grammer reached adulthood, he had already endured more personal loss than most people face in a lifetime. These experiences left deep emotional scars that would affect him for years. During the height of his fame, Grammer struggled with addiction. Alcohol and substance abuse became serious challenges in his life, leading to several arrests and multiple stays in rehabilitation programs. At times, it seemed as though these struggles might permanently damage his career. Hollywood has seen many talented actors disappear under similar circumstances. But Grammer's story unfolded differently. Despite the setbacks, he repeatedly fought to rebuild his life. Through rehabilitation, therapy, and determination, he managed to return to work again and again. Even during his most difficult periods, his commitment to the role of Frasier Crane remained strong. Meanwhile, Frasier continued to grow into one of television's most celebrated sitcoms. The show's clever writing, strong cast chemistry, and Grammer's performance helped it achieve extraordinary success throughout the 1990s and early 2000s. Grammer's personal life also remained turbulent. Over the years, he experienced several highly publicized marriages and divorces that often played out in the media. These relationships frequently placed his private life in the spotlight. Yet, through every controversy, every struggle, and every setback, Grammer continued working. His resilience allowed him to rebuild his career and remain an active presence in the entertainment industry. Even after Frasier ended in 2004, Grammer continued appearing in films, television series, and voice acting projects. But no matter how many new roles he accepted, audiences continued to associate him most strongly with Dr. Frasier Crane. The character itself became a defining part of television history. From his early days in the bar on Cheers to his radio studio in Seattle, Frasier evolved into a complex figure who was both brilliant and deeply flawed. His arrogance often created hilarious situations, yet beneath the humor was a character searching for connection, understanding, and meaning. In many ways, that complexity mirrored Grammer's own life. Behind the polished humor and intellectual jokes of the series was an actor who had faced immense personal struggles but continued moving forward. Today, Kelsey Grammer's legacy is inseparable from the character he played for so many years. Frasier Crane remains one of television's most iconic personalities, and the role helped shape an entire era of sitcom storytelling. For millions of viewers around the world, the voice of Seattle's most famous radio psychiatrist will always be remembered. A character who spent years helping others understand their lives, while the actor behind him was quietly fighting his own battles off-screen. Even decades after its final episode aired, Frasier remains one of television's most timeless sitcoms. Its humor was clever, its characters unforgettable, and its stories captured something deeply human. Beneath the witty dialogue and sophisticated comedy, the show was really about family, misunderstanding, and the complicated ways people learn to understand each other. Over the years, life has taken the cast in many different directions. Some continued building quiet and successful careers in theater and television. Others faced personal struggles and difficult chapters far away from the spotlight. And sadly, some beloved members of the cast are no longer with us. Yet the magic of Frasier still lives on. The Crane family still feels familiar, like old friends waiting in that Seattle apartment. And every time the show is rediscovered, it reminds us why great storytelling never truly fades. Now we'd love to hear from you. Who was your favorite character from Frasier? And what moment from the show still makes you laugh today? Tell us in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this nostalgic journey, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more cast then and now stories about the classic shows we all grew up watching.